Ah, miss you guys. Um, sorry I didn't do like final breakdown, but I normally do that in the upsets predictions. So I think that's one of the reasons why I was like, I'll just combine it, especially because I'm doing statistics breakdown, and that takes up a lot of time to actually calculate and check the accuracy of the statistics. So I think maybe I might. This is not a permanent thing. If you want me to still do the individual breakdowns and not combine them with the upsets predictions, then you guys will tell me. But I think for now, maybe I'm thinking about starting to add like individual topics that are not related to upcoming cards. So Monday, like as usual, it's going to be prediction results. Maybe Wednesday it'll be statistics breakdown, and then Friday it'll be upsets. Friday or Saturday, but I think I'll just keep it on Saturday because normally, I mean, I'll keep it on Friday because normally Saturday that's when I do my breakdowns for upcoming cards. So yeah, you guys will tell me if you still want me to do, despite the fact because I feel like I do the same thing. I do the same thing in the upsets predictions. So I don't feel like I should actually be doing individual breakdowns, considering the fact that I still do them in the upsets predictions. Um, but if you still want them individually, then maybe I'll continue to do that. Um, what else did I want to say before I start? Um, oh, I wanted to talk about. I feel like there's a couple of people who are basically basing their predictions on my predictions, right? And I don't want to mention names because there's no way of proving this. And I've been saying this for a while, and I'm realizing that it seems like a lot of people, and especially the people who post the predictions late. I know that I post my predictions on Saturday and all these type of things, and which is typically very early. But there are those that I feel like wait a significantly longer period of time and compare um, good prediction channels predictions basically, which sucks because they're misleading their people. At the very least, ultimately, I do upsets predictions, and not only do I break down the fights and I actually explain to you my reasons for picking those people, they don't know why I picked those people. They are basically following me blindly. But yeah, I'm waiting for my channel to grow a little bit, and then maybe I'll start calling them out. But for now, I'll just keep quiet. I just felt like I needed to speak about that a little bit. Um, Let me actually get to what you came here for. The the upsets predictions for Hernandez versus what do you call him? Pereira. Um, it's interesting to see that there are a couple of fights that when I picked them, the people I was picking, like for example, Derek Elkins. Elkins was a massive, not a massive underdog, but he was like a decent underdog. And I looked at the odds, and he throughout the week he was at some point he was the favorite, and then now he's a slight underdog. Hernandez was definitely an underdog when I picked him, and now he's a slight favorite, which is interesting. Anyway, let me actually get to the upsets. Austin Lane versus Robelis Despain. My subscribers and I went with Robelis Despain. Austin Lane is the underdog at plus 295, and Robelis Despain is the favorite at minus 385. Do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, I think one of the most challenging things about this particular fight is that Austin Lane has a horrible gas tank, right? However, we saw him in his previous fight trying to use wrestling in order to actually win the fight, and On the flip side, we saw how horrible Robelis Despain's takedown defense is. Um, However, I mean, I think maybe that was a learning curve for him. That's one of the reasons why I picked him. It's not like Austin Lane is like Habib, like he's not the best grappler. So if Robelis Despain is able to somehow, at the very least, learn basic ways to avoid getting taken down, I think he will be able to avoid getting taken down. Um, like I said, it's not like Austin Lane is like this incredible takedown artist or this seasoned grappler. So I have a little bit more confidence in Robelis Despain's ability to actually avoid getting taken down. I think he has better cardio than Austin Lane. Um, what's happening? Okay, yeah. I think he has better takedown. I mean, better cardio than Austin Lane. Um, but it's a close fight in my opinion. To be honest, it's a very close fight. Uh, yeah. So an upset is definitely possible. Tweezy, hey bro, how you doing, man? Jonald Mendoza, you actually didn't miss any fight. I'm actually just now starting. I was basically going through the Austin Lane fight versus Robelis Despain. The worrying factor, as I was saying, just so that I can recap, my worries about this particular fight is basically that on one hand, who's this person? Oh, okay. On one hand, I feel like Robelis Despain is definitely the better striker. Um, I I feel like he has better cardio. I think Robelis is around 2 KO lane. Gonzagas trying to grapple. Yeah, that's one of the things that I was mentioning, that I feel like even though Robelis Despain was taken down and was controlled on the ground in his previous fight, I don't feel like Austin Lane is as good at grappling. I mean, as I forgot the name of Waldo Cortez Acosta. I don't feel like Robelis, but I mean Austin Lane is that good at taking anyone down. So that was basically my argument, that I feel like Robelis Despain does not have to do much in order to avoid getting taken down. He just needs to learn the basics of avoiding getting taken down, and I think he should be fine. Um, However, I'm still worried. We don't know. Maybe Austin Lane saw a gap in Robelis Despain's game, and he knows he won't win on the feet. So probably he's going to actually exploit that. Maybe his camp was focused on actually grappling. We don't know what the plan is for Austin Lane, so that's what worries me. But I'm still sticking with, and my subscribers obviously picked Robelis Despain. I'm picking Robelis Despain, but I do feel like an upset is possible here, largely because the takedown defense is worrying for me, and I don't feel like Despain can improve that quickly, despite the fact that, like I said, I don't feel like Austin Lane's takedown accuracy is that great. Um, it's horrible, but if he worked on it, his whole camp, it could change the whole entire fight. I feel like he can get takedown, but Lane can't wrestle for 15 minutes. Lane did wrestle better against Denise than Williams did. Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. But I do still feel like an upset is possible here, so I'm going to say, yeah, it is possible. The Spain could lose. Because I think the argument that all of us have is that Austin Lane does not have good cardio. So my biggest problem is, what if he can get the fight to the ground enough times and survive? That's my biggest concern. That's why I say it's a risky fight for me. For me, at least that is. Um, anyway, on to the next one. Um, Melissa Martinez versus Alice Ardeline. My subscribers and I went with Alice Ardeline. Melissa Martinez is the favorite at minus 155, and Alice Alice Ardeline is the underdog at plus 130. Do I think an upset is possible here? Um, let me see. Yeah, man. Obviously, an upset is possible here. On one hand, we have someone who can fight. I forgot to check whose age. I think it's Melissa Martinez, right? Who is a little bit older. But irrespective, she's not been in competition for a while, which is very worrying. But apart from that, I feel like, to be honest, I can't defend Alice Adeline, man. But I feel like she impressed me a little bit because I saw a dog inside her in her last fight. When she came into the UFC, I picked her actually in her debut, and I was like, she's going to win. But I was really worried because her background is like OnlyFans and all these type of things. However, I saw something different. How she fought, maybe I could be wrong. It feels like she's doing it out of necessity. So it seems like she's training hard enough to actually get to a point whereby she doesn't have to do OnlyFans. That's my opinion. I feel like listening to some of the things that she was saying, how she fights, and all these. For me, based on what I saw and what I heard from her, it feels like she wants to be successful enough in the UFC so that she doesn't have to do OnlyFans. That's my viewpoint, and I feel like she has a little bit more motivation to actually win than Martinez. As far as skill for skill, I feel like the fight is close. It could go either way. But I feel like Ardeline wants to win this a little bit more. That's just a personal opinion. I feel like if it comes down to who wants it more, it's going to be Ardeline. Let's go Alice. Dog log for Ruff Ruff. Ruff Ruff. Yeah, man. I'm going Ardeline. I obviously, because Ardeline is the underdog, I do believe that an upset is possible. Um, but it is a coin flip. I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like Ardeline wants to win this. Like she wants to win this badly. So yeah. So on to the next one. But an upset is definitely possible here. On to the next one. Jessica Penne versus Alice Reed. My subscribers and I went with Alice Reed. Jessica Penne is the underdog at plus 130, and Alice Reed is the favorite at minus 155. Do I think an upset is possible here? No, man. Nah, nah. I don't know. I saw a couple of people. Okay, no, I didn't see that many people picking Jessica Penne. Penne seems a sub or bust to me. Yeah, man. I don't think she's going to win this one, man. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like she's going to win this fight, man. It's hard for me to imagine a scenario where she wins the fight unless she somehow, like Twizzy just said, unless she somehow manages to find a submission. But her takedown accuracy is not that great. I mean, like, how is she going to get a submission when she can't get the fight to the ground? So for me, it's a struggle to actually see her win in this fight. Um, this is one of the very few female fights on the card that I feel pretty confident about. I feel like Alice Reed should actually win this fight. But it's WMMA, so take it with a pinch of salt. Upsets are very possible at any point in time. So yeah, do I think an upset is possible here? If it wasn't WMMA, I'd say no. But man, I honestly, let me say this. I honestly don't feel like an upset is possible here, only because W women's MMA is very unpredictable. I'll say maybe, but personally, based on what I'm looking at, I don't feel like an upset is possible here. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's women's MMA, so very unpredictable. So if you're going to get into this one, um, good luck. On to the next one. Jocelyn Edwards versus Tamiras Vidal. My subscribers and I went with Jocelyn Edwards. Jocelyn Edwards is the favorite at minus 215, and Tamiras Vidal is the underdog at plus 165. Do I think an upset is possible here? No, I don't think. I don't think. Slightly, slightly. I feel more confident in. Um, I feel more. Edwards seems like a lock to me. I don't know, man. I have more confidence in Ellis Reed than I do in Edwards. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, Let me see my reasoning. Is my reasoning intact? I mean, Jocelyn Edwards should win. Um, I think on the feet it's going to be a tricky fight. I'm not gonna lie. I think on the feet it might be a tricky fight. But on the ground, I feel like Jocelyn Edwards should actually dominate the fight. Um, but I think Jocelyn Edwards has more ways to win the fight. So I feel like she's probably definitely going to win. I wouldn't go as far as saying she's a lock, but I do feel like she's going to win. And it's hard for me to say an upset is possible here because I don't know. I don't feel like an upset is possible here. Um, but I'm a little bit more doubtful on this particular fight than I was in the previous fight that I was actually going through. So yeah, it's you know what? I'm going to say it's an upset is possible even for the previous fight because the problem with women's MMA, I remember, and I'm learning from my lessons. I remember I said, "Who's this other chick?" There were two ladies, man, that I felt very confident that they were going to win, and they lost. Right? Um, I forgot their names. The other one is very pretty, a little bit pretty. She's Russian. Um, I forgot her name. Edwards trains with Shevchenko. Went back and forth with Aylin Perez in grappling. Yeah, that's why I said I feel like on the ground, Edwards is going to have the advantage. On the feet, it's going to be a bit tricky. It might be evenly matched to some extent. But on the ground, I do feel like Edwards is going to have the advantage. Yeah, Dudakova. I was pretty confident Dudakova was going to win, and she lost. So I don't want to say, especially because I haven't seen enough to feel confident about. Okay, I'm like, let me put it like this, right? I feel like Edwards is probably definitely going to win. I feel like Ellis Reed is probably definitely going to win. But personally, I wouldn't. If I was going to put money on any of these fights, I wouldn't on these particular fights because these people, like women's MMA, scares me. I don't want to lie. I was the small percentage on Sam. Well, kudos to you, man. You saw it coming. So yeah, my subscribers and I went with Jocelyn Edwards. I don't think an upset is possible here, but it's women's MMA, so tread lightly. On to the next one. Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. My subscribers and I, how you gonna put all your money parlaying women? It's so hard. Yeah, no, that's not what I advise, man. Like they're very unpredictable. Women's MMA is very unpredictable. Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. My subscribers and I went with Gene Matsumoto. Um, Brad Katona is the underdog at plus 190, and Jin Matsumoto is the favorite at the minus 245. Do I think an upset is possible here? Hells to the nah, hells to the nah, hells to the nah, 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 nah. I don't see a way where Brad Katona is going to win this fight, man. I mean, here's how I see Brad Katona and Jin Matsumoto. Let's. Here's how I see them, right? Brad Katona is going to be one of those UFC fighters who will be just outside the rankings. You know, a gatekeeper basically. You know, he's going to be good enough to get a couple of wins, turn back a couple of frauds, win a couple of fights, lose some. You know, up until and Alex Morono basically. You know, he's going to be like Alex Morono. You know, win some, lose some, and then retire with a lengthy career in the UFC, maybe. But his contract was already terminated. I think twice before. I don't know, but still, I feel like it's going to be back and forth. He's going to win some and lose some. On the other hand, I feel like Gene Matsumoto. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's a future title contender, but I think he is on a path to actually being ranked. You know, so skill wise, Jin Matsumoto is better. I think everywhere, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. Obviously, on the ground, maybe Brad Katona might surprise us. I don't see a path to victory for Brad Katona. I don't want to lie. Um, the dude does not have. I don't know. Maybe he shoots many takedowns. I don't know. That's the only advantage I'd give him. It's not that big of an advantage, but that's all I can say. So yeah, I don't think an upset is possible here. Let me reply before I move forward. Um, Brad will not underdog. I feel like Brad is just liked by people. He's nice. He's a nice fighter, but gosh, man, he's always fighting people that are slightly better. Yeah, I feel like both are Alex Morono kind of guy. So you feel like Jin Matsumoto is like Alex Morono? I don't know, man. I feel like Jin Matsumoto is not even slight. I think he's significantly better. Just that Brad Katona is a little bit more difficult to get out there. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jin Matsumoto actually finishes him. Like I feel like Jin Matsumoto is significantly better than Brad Katona. Um, Jonald Mendoza, what's your name? My name is Kotatso Muledi, my dude. Yeah, go through the channel. Normally people ask me that. I don't know how to answer that because some people know me by my channel's name, but personally, even on some of the videos that I take time on, like the awards, there's the awards on the channel and everything like that. That's where you'll see my name. But like most of the time, just people refer me to me with the channel's name. But my name is Kotazo Moledi from South Africa. Um, Let me see. Real Thor 89. Morono listed LOL. Grant Dawson was real close to go into that, but got his finish. He was close to being floor checked. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I mean, Brad Cotton is very difficult to finish. So if you don't have cardio, you are going to have a serious problem. Tweezy, I got Katona, man. I can't just watch. Agueta break his takedown record on Jean and not worry against Katona. Okay, man. I respect your decision to go with Katona, but I think we spoke about this in the comment section, me and you, Twizzy. Cody Haddon. Cody Haddon was just taken down by Dan Aguileta. I don't know how many times, right? Obviously, it wasn't record breaking, but Cody Haddon is able to take down a lot of people. So for me, that's not too badly, too bad of a thing to happen to any fighter, because I feel like Cody Haddon is very physically strong. Um, Dana Guyeta, I mean, is very physically strong, and he spams a lot of takedowns. So it's not surprising to me that he was able to land that many takedowns, in my opinion. Right? That dude is physically strong. It's not just about the spam. Like combining the fact that he's literally a very strong person with the fact that he shoots a lot of takedowns. It's not surprising to me. Um, that happened. It's like Merab basically. Like you can't be shocked that Merab takes people down because, but I don't know if Merab is that strong. But still, I guess he's strong if people complain about his strength after fighting him. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't really count that against him because I think Dana Guieta basically takes down everyone he fights. Um, Let me see. Let me Alex Morona and then our fight. Then our fight. Man, that was a close fight, but Morona is just not the guy because he can't finish often. Yeah, I agree, man. Tweezy, Cody Harden has better takedown defense though. Yeah, that's why obviously he didn't break a record on him. And I think Jin Matsumoto, hopefully he has learned his lesson and is going to improve. And if he doesn't, I guess I'm wrong. But I can't see Brad Katona winning this fight. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess this is a fight that me and you will just have to disagree on, and we'll see on fight night. But I don't see Brad Katona winning this fight. To be honest, um, Tracy, I wouldn't. Wouldn't you say Dan was winning though before he subbed him? Yeah, yeah, I could like I agree. Like I understand your point. Like to be honest, I understand your point. But I believe in people's ability to improve. Like if ever that was the case, people like for example Alex Pereira, for example, was losing against Israel Adesanya when he won the belt. Okay, that's not a good example because he got knocked out in the rematch. Who's a good example? Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards was losing the fight against Kamaru Usman, and then he came back, and then he knocked him out, and then he came back and looked a little bit more improved. There are a couple of examples whereby I can use someone. Obviously, we're talking about championship level, which is different, but I believe in a fighter's ability to improve. Um, Especially fighters who've managed to win fights consecutively. But like I said, for me personally, I don't see a path to victory for Dana Goyeta. I could be wrong. I doubt I am. I doubt an upset is going to happen here. I think Jin Matsumoto is rightfully a favorite. But I could be wrong. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Um, Tweezy, that's true. People do just wake up and get better. Yeah, man. But I respect that. Maybe you are right. Who knows? But I honestly don't see a path to victory for Brad Katona. Anyway, on to the next one. Mateos Nicolau versus Asu Almabayev. My subscribers and I went with Asu Almabayev. Mateos Nicolau is the underdog at plus 155. And Asu Almabayev is the favorite at minus 185. Do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, yeah. I wasn't really impressed with Asu Almabayev's last performance, um, which is a little bit different compared to people like I know people are saying Medtech bag or buy was fraud checked and everything like that, and I don't think so. I think he fought a really tough opponent, and I feel like people are being too hard on the guy. On the flip side, Asu Almabayev, I feel like if he's not improved, he's going to be in a serious problem. Largely because I feel like Nicolau is going to make it difficult on the feet. Mm, okay, this is going to be a close fight in my opinion. I don't see either of them getting finished. I feel like this is going to go to a decision, and the decision might be a split. I could see a world where Asuel Mabayev is robbed, but because he's a good prospect for the UFC, I mean, he might get a robbery. I don't know. But I think this fight is a little bit closer than people make it seem. Asu Almabayev, I don't know if he's a proven quality prospect. So for me, this fight is going to be very close. It's a coin flip. Don't be fooled by me and my subscribers agreeing. I honestly feel like it's risky. Even though my subscribers, surprisingly, my subscribers I feel pretty confident. They say this fight is safe. They feel like Asual Mabayev is definitely going to win, which is odd. I honestly don't see that. But yeah, I'm picking Asual Mabayev. Do I think an upset is possible here? 100%. I think an upset is possible here. Um, Before I move on, what are you saying, Tweezy? I feel like Nicolau wins. He hasn't fought anyone like Nicolau, and he's not a KO artist. But Asuel Mabayev will have the advantage on the ground, and it's not like Nicolau's takedown defense. Okay, he has good takedown defense, but I don't know if he's fought anyone with Asuel Mabayev's level of takedowns. So that's one of the things that we'll have to just see if Asuel Mabayev is as good as we think he is. He should be able to take him down, and if not, then we're going to see a different scenario. Because, but on the feet, I don't feel like it's going to. Okay, I take that back. I think Mateus Nicolau is going to dominate if this fight stays on the feet. Um, So yeah, an upset is possible here, definitely. So yeah, on to the next one. Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. My subscribers went with Daniel Pineda, and I went with Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins is a plus 105 underdog, and Daniel Pineda is a minus 130 favorite. The odds were not this close when I picked him. I was even worried. I was like, dude, am I making a mistake? Why am I not? Why am I seeing this guy winning? But after I did the statistics breakdowns and I looked at the fight a little bit closer, I was like, okay, um, maybe I am right, you know. And that's the thing about predictions. Despite the fact that I feel very confident about how good I am at predicting fights, even though I do have some off nights, I feel like I'm one of the best on YouTube. This is based on previous predictions and everything like that. There are bad nights, and I can't dispute that, you know. And you don't know when bad nights are going to come. So when I pick someone, I get worried a lot of the time, and I don't know how the fight is going to play out. It's MMA ultimately, especially in fights like these. They are very tricky. I honestly picked the Darren Elkins reluctantly, but over time, I consoled myself with research, and I felt like he has a decent shot, more than I actually thought he did when I picked him. Um, so let's see. You know what? I think Darren Elkins is going to win this fight, man. I think Darren Elkins is going to win this fight because the one place that I see Daniel Pineda winning this fight is on the ground. I hear people saying, no, he's going to knock him out. He's going to knock who out? Like, they're both they're both old. Like, oh, one is 40, one is 39. Like, let's not even act like there's an older man here. And people are using the excuse of he gave Nathaniel Wood a run for his money. Maybe Nathaniel Wood is not that good. Like, have you considered that? Maybe he's going to get checked very soon. I mean, he did recently lose. I mean, Nathaniel Wood recently lost, right? So why I don't know why people are saying he did have a close fight with Nathaniel Wood. Maybe that means Nathaniel Wood is not that good if he's struggling against Daniel Pineda, who fought him when he was like 39 or was it 38. Maybe that's a bad sign for him. Um, so I don't know, man. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Darren Elkins is going to run through Daniel Pineda, but based on my research, I think that's what's going to happen, guys. And I think that's why the odds have drastically decreased to a point whereby Darren Elkins at some point was a favorite, and then obviously the odds swinged back to Daniel Pineda. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Darren Elkins was a bigger underdog than he is right now when I picked him last week Saturday. And I think the odds have moved this way because they see what I saw. Even though I was doubting myself at that point, after a little bit more research, I do believe that the Darren Elkins is going to win this fight. I am a little bit more confident. If Darren Elkins was not like 40 years old, I would say this is my lock. But because he's taking the damage, um, and he's 40, and he's fighting someone with a 100% finishing rate, those are the things that worry me. Like, I mean, Daniel Pineda is a finisher, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like that's not worrying me at all. But yeah, I do think if Darren Elkins was not 40, but I think he's probably the best underdog on the card, in my opinion. I think he's the best underdog on the card. Um, if I was hunting for underdogs that had a high probability of winning, I'd say it's Darren Elkins. Um, Let me see. So yeah, do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, Darren Elkins is the underdog here, so 100% I think an upset is possible here. Um, On to the next one. I didn't write the odds for Jake Hadley versus Cameron Smotherman, but I remember when they just announced the fight. I think Jake Hadley was like minus 500, which is crazy. Okay, not crazy, but okay. Let me not even say it's crazy. It's fine, but minus 500 is crazy. Um, I mean, Jake Hadley had my subscribers and I went with Jake Hadley. Of course, Jake Hadley had a full camp. Um, but this guy, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Jake Hadley. Yeah, I think he should win. Um, I think Jake Hadley has more ways to win in this particular fight. I think he will be able to stand. He will be able to submit him. I think he will have the most advantage on the ground. I think. Um, I don't know, man. I didn't go deep enough into this fight in order to be able to confidently say, especially because this guy has had like a few fights within the UFC. Um, Not within the UFC, but within UFC programs and things like that. So it's really hard to gauge how good he is. I know he's not that good, you know, but to be honest, I'd say just stay away from this fight, man. Like, there are too many unknowns. I feel like Jake Hadley is going to win this fight. I wouldn't call it risky, but I don't know enough about this guy in order to make a definitive opinion about whether or not he's going to win. My subscribers feel pretty confident that he's going to win. Um, but for me personally, I can't rely on what I've seen so far. So the best thing to do, and I'm going, the opinion I give you is something I would apply to myself. I would just skip this fight if it was me. I'd just skip this fight. Unless you like the risk, then I mean Jake Hadley had a full camp. I think Jake Hadley is going to have an advantage on the ground. I think Jake Hadley on the feet, it should be his fight. My only concern is I don't know enough about this dude. He might just come in there and surprise all of us, you know. But yeah, I think Jake Hadley should win this fight. Is he a minus 500? I don't know, man. I don't think so. But yeah, it is what it is. On to the next one: Charles Johnson versus Suma Durji. My subscribers and I went with Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson is the underdog. Is he? No, this is wrong. I think Charles Johnson should be the favorite at minus 210. I think maybe I wrote it wrong. Is the favorite at minus 210, and Suma Durji is the underdog at plus 170. You know what? If I'm wrong, I'll pin it to this live stream once I'm done. You can always go and check, but I think maybe I'm the one who made an error here. There's no way Suma Durji is the favorite, but irrespective, I've seen a lot of people count out Suma Durji. I think Suma Durji could win this fight. Um, Suma Durji on the feed, the only advantage I'd give to Charles Johnson is volume. I think Charles Johnson throws a lot of punches. Um, on the ground, let me see. I don't know, man. I don't know. Based on what I'm looking at here, Suma Durji might be coming out with an upset. Let me just look at this a little bit closer. Damn. Okay, here's my opinion on this fight. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think Suma Durji has the same level of probability of winning this fight as Darren Elkins. Um, I'm still picking Charles Johnson. I think he's going to find a way to win. But Suma Durji is good defensively. He has power. He has reach on the feet. On the ground, let me see. Uh, it's hard for me to say that he will be out grappled. It might happen, but I don't know, man. I feel like Suma Durji has the same level of an opportunity um, as Darren Elkins. And I did say that Darren Elkins is probably the most, or rather, the best underdog on the card. However, Darren Elkins has had a little bit more activity, not a little, like significantly more activity. So it's easier to actually have a little bit more confidence in Darren Elkins because of his experience. Suma Derji is inconsistent. That's one of the things I. That's one of the reasons why I didn't pick him. He is very inconsistent, and you don't know what version of him is going to show up. But if he comes to fight, I think he's going to win this fight. I I could be wrong, but my subscribers and I are picking Charles Johnson. But I think Suma Derji could surprise all of us, and the probability of that is significantly high. So, do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah. If Charles Johnson is the favorite, like I think I made a mistake here. But if Charles Johnson is the favorite, yeah, an upset is definitely possible here. Um, Ken's Ken's is busy spam in my comment section. I'll reply to everyone once I'm done here. I'm almost done, and then we can have a conversation. Ken's um, uh, Rob Font versus Kyla Phillips. My subscribers and I went with Kyla Phillips. Rob Font is the underdog at plus 215. Kyla Phillips is the favorite at minus 280. Do I think an upset is possible here? No, no. No. If Rob Font wins, I'll be shocked. Like, Rob Font shouldn't win this fight. I think Kyla Phillips is probably the only solid lock on the card. To be honest, I don't have any other. I don't have any confidence in anyone. I'll give you my most confident picks, but Tweezy, you're joining Kenzulan. Um, so I don't see about like I don't think Rob Font is going to win this fight, man. Alice is a lock, dude. No, that's crazy, man. I don't know if Alice is a lock. I think that fight is going to be very close. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't know if I should even be breaking down this fight because I don't think Kyla Phillips is going to lose this fight. Rob Font is old. Kyla Phillips is better everywhere in my opinion. Um, Whether the fight stays standing or it goes to the ground, I think Kyla Phillips is going to win this fight. If there ever was a lock, I think I think Kyla Phillips is that lock for me. I think Kyla Phillips is definitely going to win. There isn't much to break down here. What are you saying, Tweezy? You're starting to say crazy things in the comment section. Anyway, on to the next one. Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. Anthony Hernandez is the favorite at minus 160, and Michel Pereira is the underdog at plus 130. Wow. When I picked Anthony Hernandez, I felt like the odds makers are watching my channel. Even though there aren't that many people who watch it, like at most my channel get like I don't know 600 live streams. I had like 600. So I don't know, but it feels like whenever I pick someone, the odds slightly change throughout the week. So I'm honestly shocked that Hernandez is actually the favorite because even I believe even though I didn't pick him, even I think Michel Pereira is probably going to win the fight. However, my analysis, which I trust my analysis, and that's why I like it. So far, I think I haven't had a strategy for predicting fights that has been this successful. I think since I started using this method, I was wrong and I started using it. I think around April. Was it? No, not April. Was it May or June? There was a point whereby I went on a 5 week winning streak, right? Like a profitable streak, basically. So if you can track when that streak started, that's when I started using that strategy. So that's one of the reasons why I trust it, because I've had only 3 bad nights since. And when I say 3 bad nights, I'm talking about getting close to 50%. You know, that's a bad night for me. When I've been using the strategy, it was two or 3 nights. So I trust the strategy that I'm using right now. That's why when it says Hernandez is going to win, I listen, right? But me personally, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to create a strategy, because I don't trust my opinion. When I started this channel, I was using my opinion to say this person is going to win, this person is going to win, sometimes doubting myself. So I created a strategy in order to avoid involving my opinion, my biases, and everything into the fight. Um, so the strategy says Hernandez is going to win. Um, the strategy, and if you are doubting, last week I got 10 out of 12. I only got 2 wrong, and it's because of the strategy. So I trusted, but for me personally, the opinion that I don't trust, my opinion, I'm like, no, Pereira is probably going to win this fight. But the strategy is like, nah, fam. Hernandez is going to win. It's going to be a very close fight. It's going to be a coin flip. I wouldn't be shocked if Pereira won, because the advantages that I feel like Hernandez has are significantly small. It's not like Hernandez has like a massive advantage. So I'm not sitting here saying Hernandez is a lock. It's a coin flip. I think both are good everywhere. Let me see on the feed. Yeah, man. Like both are good everywhere. The fight could quite literally go either way. It's hard to actually say who is going to actually definitively win this fight. This is one of those fights that it's smart to just stay away from it. But if you like the underdog money, I guess you can go for it on Pereira. I don't know, but yeah, it's just surprising to me that when I picked Hernandez, he was like the underdog, and now he's a favorite, which is surprising because both Darren Elkins and Hernandez, like those are the two picks that I was worried about, because I was I was really in my heart and in my head. I believe Daniel Pineda and Michel Pereira are going to win, but I don't trust my opinion. Like I don't, I don't trust I don't trust my opinion, and that's why I came up with a strategy to actually accurately predict fights. I'm good at breaking down fights and actually pinpointing upsets and how a fight is probably going to play out. But if I decided to use my opinion to predict fights, I don't think my accuracy would be good. You know. So I trust my strategy. It says Hernandez is going to win. I think the fight is going to be evenly matched both on the feet and on the ground. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that either man has an advantage. Pereira obviously is massive. He's strong. Um, I don't know, man. But I think Hernandez is going to win. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's a coin flip, like literally, and that's why the odds are so close, and that's why the odds have been moving back and forth throughout the week. Um, but it gives me a little bit more confidence to know I picked an underdog who became a favorite. I saw things that people didn't see before. Or they just watch my channel. So either way, um, let's see how that plays out. Um, I'm from South Africa, my dude. Actually, let me try to reply to your comments. Okay, let me give you my most confident picks, and then I'll start replying to your Slugfest country. I hope the wind is not disturbing you guys. Um, oh shit, I'm from South Africa, but I live in the UK. You're from South Africa? Wow, incredible. And you're busy calling me, telling me about oils. You're not very loyal, Austin Lane, very risky. Stay away from this fight. Melissa Martinez versus Alice Adeline. Tweezy says this is a lock. I don't know. I don't know if it's a lock. I think this is a risky fight. Personally, I'd stay away from it. But if you like the underdog money, I do believe Alice Adeline is going to win, but I think it's a coin flip. So if maybe you're looking for underdogs, Alice Adeline is not a bad underdog. But for me personally, I'd stay away from it. Jessica Pena versus Alice Reed. I feel pretty confident about Alice Reed winning this fight, but I said the same thing about Dudakova, and I was wrong. And that fight card is weird because it's another one of those fight cards whereby I got 12. It was 12 fights, right? I got 10 correct, and then I got two wrong. And Dudakova was one of the two fights that I got wrong. What what was affecting me negatively was I felt pretty confident in Dudakova. And then ever since I told myself, no matter how confident I feel about a female fighter, I'm never going to say that that person is a lock. I feel very confident that Alice Reed should win this fight. I'm not gonna advise anyone to go for it. But if this was a male fight, I'd say Alice Reed is a lock. But because it's WMMA, I don't know. But I feel confident that Alice Reed is going to win. I just wouldn't call it a lock because it's WMMA. Jocelyn Edwards versus Tamires Vidal. Um, I think Vidal, but I mean, Jocelyn Edwards should win, but personally, I'd stay away from it. Personally, I'd stay away from it, but I think Jocelyn Edwards should win. Brad Katona versus Jean Matsumoto. Another one. Twizzy disagrees with me. I think Jean Matsumoto is one of the few fighters on the card who should definitely win this fight. Um, do you have an IG account? I do, my dude. Check Kotatso Moledi. It's KGOTHATSO MMOLEDI. If you want the spelling of my name, just go to the video section, the awards video. It has my name. But I'm not very active on IG. I check my Facebook a little bit regularly, but I think I need to start being a little bit more active on Instagram and even Twitter. I hate those platforms. Okay, hate is a very strong word, but the only social media platform I use most of the time is YouTube. But obviously, because of the plans I have for this channel, I need to be active on all social media platforms. But I'm not saying don't follow me. Like, go there and give me a follow, and then I'll try to start being a little bit more active. I'm actually going to start trying to activate the accounts because the awards are coming. So I think I'm going to start posting a little bit more from there, and then maybe I'll see what I do. But I don't want to have an account and I'm not using it effectively, right? Um, um, I will get loads of make that IG reels money, brother. Okay, okay, I'll consider it. I actually was trying TikTok. TikTok. I think not to be disrespectful, but I think YouTube is probably one of the few social media platforms that has intelligent viewers, in my opinion, because when I started, I was posting almost everywhere, but the most success I got, okay, let me not lie, I put in a lot of effort and energy into YouTube, but I put in the same amount of energy into TikTok. I got like, I don't know, about 1 million views there, but it's not the same as YouTube, man. Like, I feel like YouTube has a little bit more. My channel is like analytical, so I don't feel like people in TikTok want to think. They just want to see people naked and I don't know, making jokes. And yeah, I think that's what TikTok is for. Instagram, I don't know that much about. I didn't give it enough effort. I think maybe I'll try it. I'll put in the same effort that I was putting in on TikTok. I've stopped putting effort into TikTok. I think now I'll try to maybe put in the same effort on Instagram, and I'll see how. Instagram got quite a few good MMA pages, though. I think you could do pretty well on there. Okay, you've convinced me. Um, I'll try to start being a little bit more active on Instagram, and then I'll see how that goes. Um, yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I think I'll start doing that. Plus, my videos are basically reels. Because of the format, like the success that I've had, the 12,000 subscribers that I have are because of the shorts. The live streams are still growing and the videos are still growing. The most amount of views and the most amount of subscribers are coming from the shorts. So I think maybe tomorrow, I'll start posting on Instagram and see how that goes. Um, Kenz, I appreciate that, man. Where was I? So back to Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. Um, what do you call? Tweezy disagrees. Tweezy replace Mike Bisping with Slugman. Yeah, those are massive compliments, guys. I appreciate that. Just for people who are going to watch this after, Ken's just said the Slugfest for UFC commentary 2025. Who the f is John Anik? We need Slugfest. And Tweezy just said replace Michael Bisping with Slugfest. Oh, I do put in a lot of work into what I do, so yeah. Let me stop looking at this so that I can actually finish up here. Brad Katona versus Jin Matsumoto. Tweezy disagrees. He feels like Katona is going to have some success with the takedowns because Dan Aguilera had some level of success. I'm just telling you this, guys. Maybe I'm not seeing something that he sees. He's been right about few, not a lot. There have been picks whereby I've said this person, and then he said this person, and sometimes he's been right. But I don't think he's been right. Okay, Dudakova is one example. I felt pretty confidently about Dudakova, and Tweezy said the same, and he was right. But this is not WMMA, so I don't think that counts because that was WMMA. But this is not WMMA. I think Jin Matsumoto for me is one of my locks. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if Tweezy is right. But for me, Jin Matsumoto is a lock. Um, I don't think he's going to lose this fight. So yeah, Mateus Nicolau versus Asu Almabayev. Stay away from this fight. Stay away. I got Perez too. Who was he fighting? Um, Stay away from Nicolau. But again, Mateus Nicolau versus Asu Almabayev. You'll be you'll be sweating the whole fight, especially because I think it might go to a decision. Like you'll be sweating the whole fight. Altamirano. Wasn't that a fluke? Okay, it wasn't a fluke. It was a decision, eh? But still, like that was a close fight, and I remember I wasn't pretty confident in Altamirano. This is different because I feel like Matsumoto is my lock. So, and obviously I'm not going to sit here and say that all my locks have been so, but so far, UFC 30, was it 307? All the fights that all my locks won on that particular card, right? And then last week, the only lock that I had was that lost is Katsuro Taira. All my other locks won. So my locks are pretty good. But I'm not going to sit here and say all my locks win. So Tweezy might be right, but historically, um, my locks normally win, except maybe one. Maximum is one that maybe I'm wrong about, and it doesn't happen often. Um, so we'll talk. I'll respond to the comments once I'm done. So yeah, I think Mateus Nicolau versus Asu Almabayev, stay away from that fight. Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda, stay away from that fight. Jake Hadley versus Cameron Smotherman. I mean, I think this one might be worth the risk. Personally, I'd stay away from it, but I feel like Jake Hadley should win this one. He has a full camp, he has the experience advantage. I think he's going to be better on the feet and probably on the ground. But I don't know enough about the opponent to be able to be confident about this one. But I think maybe it's worth the risk. I just wouldn't take it. Charles Johnson versus Suma Durji. I wouldn't take this risk. I think it's a very risky fight. Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips. Definitely Kyler Phillips is going to win. Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. Stay away from this fight. So let me see. Who did I say I feel confidently about? It's Kyler Phillips. Um, Gene Matsumoto. Yeah, I think the two people that I feel pretty confident about. But if you want three people, I'd say maybe Alice Reed. Who else? Yeah, that's as far as I'm willing to go, man. Um, I want to say Darren Elkins, but he's too old. He's facing someone who Tweezy. Smother man is a log, bro. Smother man is not a log. Tweezy, you're busy misleading people. Uh, why would you say that? Smother man is not a log. Dude, like this guy. So yeah, for me personally, Darren Elkins, if he was a little bit younger, I'd say he's a lock. He's not, like, it's a little bit risky. So I'll say I'll stick to Kyler Phillips, Gene Matsumoto, and maybe Ellis Reed. Let me reply to your comments so that I can bounce. Some of the things I've replied to, but let me just make sure I reply to everyone. Let me see. Oh, the things you guys are saying in the comments are crazy. Alice is a log. This guy is crazy, man. Alice is not a log. Alice could win, but I don't think she's a log. Um, um, let me actually. It started with the oils. I don't know where the oils came from. Agree with the split decision, coin flip. Um, okay, yeah, this is where the comments start. Tweezy, I feel like Nicola wins. He hasn't fought anyone like Nicola, and he's not a KO artist. I think Tweezy here is saying that he thinks Nicola is going to beat Asuel Mabayev. I don't think so. I think it's possible, highly possible, but I think I still feel like what do you call him? Asu Almabayev probably wins. But like I said, it's a coin flip, so I wouldn't feel confident. I don't feel confident in what I'm saying. Um, Coin flip though, yeah, I 100% agree. Twizy, I agree with split decision. Yeah, yeah. Wetback, why don't roosters wear pants? Because they are pack highs. I've heard this joke before, but wow. This guy, Wetback says, why don't roosters wear pants? Because their pecker is on their head. Wow. The comments we see. Tweezy, I feel like it's close on the feed, but Johnson has some slept on BJJ. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, but I feel like it's going to still nonetheless be close. That's why I picked. The reason why I say a fight is close is because I feel like it could go either way. There's a possibility for a robbery. Like there are various elements. Whenever I say someone is a lock, it's because I feel like they are going to win a fight so definitively that the possibility for a robbery won't be there. When I say someone is a lock, that's what I mean. And then if I'm saying an upset is possible, it doesn't mean I'm picking the other person, and that's why I picked Charles Johnson. I still do believe that the Charles Johnson is going to win, just like I believe Asuel Mabayev is going to win. However, the reason why I say those fights an upset is possible, I think a variety of elements could be involved. Whether it's the judges robbing him, whether it's um, something could potentially happen. Like, for example, Kyler Phillips, even if Kyler Phillips comes into the fight injured somehow, I still feel like he's going to win that fight. So that whenever I say someone is a lock, I just mean that I don't think they are going to make, even if it goes to a decision, there will be no doubt who's the winner. When I say someone is a lock, that's what I mean. So I do feel like Charles Johnson is probably going to win. I'm just saying that other things could happen that could make him lose the fight. That's all I'm saying. Tweezy mainly worried about Johnson's activity. He might be chinny. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been chinned, so as long as he hasn't been slapped recently, I think he should be fine. Ken's. This was when Ken's came into the chat. Oil up once upon an oil fest. Once upon an oil fest. Wow. once upon, once upon an oil fest part two. And then he laughs. This guy. Tweezy joins him. Ken's, I'm back again. Tweezy, Philip's gonna oil up font. Kids, 100%. The kids, if Phillips doesn't win, you have to oil up online. What does that even mean? Wow, just imagine. You want YouTube to remove my channel because I'm busy putting oil on myself on a live stream. Tweezy, Tweezy says Alice is a lock, guys. I disagree, but this is Tweezy's pick. This is Tweet. I think Alice is a dog for sure. I think she's going to go in there looking for a win. She's going to fight hard. But I wouldn't go as far as saying that she's a lock. Ken's just laughs. Tweezy Reach. I chinned Rob Font yesterday for bumping into me. Wow. Mighty bet. Edwards plus Johnson plus Phillips. Yeah, pretty solid. I'm a little bit worried about the Johnson, but yeah, I think they should go really well. Tweezy just trolling. Okay. Um, Ken's Michel Pereira by flying triple spinning tornado kick. Okay. Tweezy fluffy decision around 4 sub. I hope so, man. I don't like getting fights wrong, so I really hope so. Pereira wins by shits, giggles, and tomfoolery. Ken, what's happening with you? This guy, like, just saying random things. Um, the strategy is like the Krabby Patty formula. Only Slugfest knows it. I can't give it away, dude. Like, there's already dudes on YouTube that I feel like are copying my predictions. every person who releases after every channel is always suspicious to me. But there are specific ones that I'm like, whenever I get fights wrong, this guy gets fights wrong. Whenever I get them right, whenever I get them right, he gets them right. And it's been on multiple occasions. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm not imagining this. So I think there are channels that do this, right? Um, there are channels that wait for, and I think I said this at the beginning of the stream, that wait for channels that they think are good at predicting fights. Let's say there are four channels, right? That they feel like, okay, these channels are good at predicting fights. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at the fights that we have in common. And then they are going to take those fights and then make a video and then say it's their picks. Right? I don't have a problem with that, but you don't know why I picked that person. And that's one of the reasons why I do the breakdowns on Friday, because I don't want people to take my explanation of why I'm saying I'm picking this particular person, because I prefer to be able to explain to people. That's one of the reasons why I do these lives, in order to make sure that I explain my reasons and my confidence levels. But the fact that I now do I mean, I now do risky and safe picks on the channel. I think it takes away all of that. I think it takes away all of that, because then they can know which picks are very risky and which picks are safe. But still, I feel like my breakdowns are probably some of the best breakdowns on the platform. Whether I get picks right or wrong, I feel like my predictions are almost accurate. I think my my upsets predictions are probably like almost always accurate. Whether I get a fight wrong or right, my upsets good. My locks are normally good. Usually, I get one wrong at most when I say people I lock. Like if I say four people I lock, on a bad day, I'll get one wrong. So if people are like, I can't reveal the start, especially because my strategy took me over a year to cultivate, because I was my picks were bad. They were occasionally good, but I don't want occasionally good. Like I don't mind being occasionally wrong, not occasionally right. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Last year I would occasionally have good cards whereby I predict like accurately. Actually, before UFC 300 this year, my predictions were not that great. Um, and it was torturing me to a point where I was like, you know what? I think I was smart enough to come up with the subscribers' predictions, and the subscribers have been doing really well. So maybe I should just stop doing predictions and allow the subscribers to just do the predictions. It was getting to me that bad, because I don't want to do anything that I'm not like excelling at. But I kept on making sure that I try and improve, and it was trial and error. I was looking at a variety of ways. I tried this, it failed. I tried this, it failed. I tried this, it failed. Like I tried so many things and they failed. And then this year, I think about 3 4 months ago, I created something. And the nice thing about trial and error is that I know, okay, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. And then I start to see a pattern of, okay, I think this works, this works, this works. So it means I need to look for things like this when I'm picking someone. So that's how I ultimately came up with the strategy. It was a lot of work. Maybe I might eventually make an app. I think an app is going to be a little bit more accurate than me, but I need to have my own statistics. I need to have my own, like all the information. I don't want to rely on other um, institutions or anything like that. So maybe eventually, once I've sufficiently grown, I might have an app, but I don't think it's a good idea, because I think it takes away the subscribers' picks, because I like the competition between me and my subscribers. I like the fact that sometimes my subscribers are incredibly right, and then usually I'm like one or two ahead of them. I like the competition between me and my subscribers. And I feel like an app will take away from that. Yeah, and I don't want to make an app until I'm 100% sure that my predictions are like 80 to 90% accurate. At this point, there are bad nights. There's still things that I feel like I need to work on and check in order to make sure that on a bad night I don't even get close to 50%, because I haven't had a bad night since I came up with this strategy until UFC 306. And of course, a lot of other people got a lot of picks wrong on their card. Um, but I hate losing. I hate being wrong because I put in too much energy into this. And that's why people say, like, why don't you bet on fights? Why? I don't bet on fights because look at the amount of energy that I put into what I'm doing. If I was putting money on this, I probably would have a heart attack because I'm unable to enjoy a fight card if I'm wrong. Like if, for example, in the prelims already I get 3 fights or 4 fights wrong, I can't enjoy it because in my head I'm like, I hope I don't get another fight wrong. I hope I don't get another fight wrong up until the main event. And that's not like a way I should be watching a fight. Like you guys don't understand and I don't want this to change because it pushes me to improve. You know, so I'm sorry if I'm ranting or if I'm going off track. I'm just trying to explain the level of difficulty that brought me to the strategy that I'm using to predict fights. And it's still a lot of work, even though it's it's something that is said and it's not on paper, it's not documented, it's in my head. So if I have amnesia, the strategy is gone. I didn't write it down anywhere. So if somehow I have amnesia, the strategy is gone. Like, so that's why I say maybe eventually, I don't know after how many years, maybe 10, after I've perfected the strategy. But I don't think betting companies will be happy with that. I think the more success I have, I don't know. Eventually, I'll get shut down. I think so. Eventually maybe I might have to change or pivot and maybe start doing entertainment, the entertainment side of MMA as opposed to predictions because I'm so committed to actually getting the formula to getting 100% prediction accuracy, even with the unpredictability of MMA. I'm so committed to actually getting to a point whereby I get 100%. And the fact that I started my channel last year, right? I started watching MMA properly full time in 2019. So I don't have that much experience, but the level of success and accuracy from breakdowns to predictions that I have is, for me personally, I feel like it's very incredibly impressive for someone who hasn't been watching MMA for a very long time. I don't think I have a decade. Is it? Yeah, I don't even have a decade watching MMA. Number two, I'm going on my second year with a channel, and I think I'm in the top 10 best channels on YouTube, right? As far as predictions go. So I think personally that within the next 10 years, I think I will have figured out how to get 100% accuracy. And even if I'm not always 100% accurate, I'm very confident that I'll be playing between 70, 80% to 100. As long as I continue I don't want to stop caring. The moment I'm like, it's fine, that's where I'm going to. Even though the strategy I think is fine as it is right now, I win some, I lose some, but majority of the time, I win. I think that's a good strategy. Majority of the time, if you're winning, then it's smart. Like it's a strategy that even if I was betting like in the form of an investment, like if I was like saying, okay, I have 1,000, I'm going to make sure that I invest an equal amount in every single pick that I make the whole entire year. If I'm more successful on cards, then I know that I'll have a return of income or a return on investment by the end of the year, right? I think that's how a prediction should be, a prediction channel should be. Even if you don't get every single card correct, as long as you get the majority of the cards and the majority of the fights correct, I think that's enough. As long as ultimately your channel is profitable, I think that's the most important thing about a prediction channel, which I think mine is. Starting from UFC 300, anything before that um, is is I don't know, a black box that was lost in the sea. I don't recognize it. I don't know it. I don't like. It was a horrible time for me before UFC 300. From UFC 300, that's when my strategy became a little bit better. Um, so yeah, it was incredibly difficult to come up with the strategy. It's not selfishness that's making me not want to share it. It's number one because I'm planning on doing something a lot bigger. I think people take it lightly when I say I want to be bigger than the UFC. I'm not joking. As far as numbers on YouTube, and I know I can do that. I'm 100% sure I can do that. I just need time. I just need to get to a point where I'm monetized. But I know I can do that. I think UFC has like 18 million subscribers or something like that. I know I can surpass that. Um, but with time, just give it time. I'm still very small. Um, I'm a very small fish in the sea. I don't even have 1 million subscribers, but I'll get there. I know I'll get there. But all I can say is number one, I'm a perfectionist. So I'm not going to give up trying to get to 100%. But I don't think I'm going to last because the moment I get close to 100% consistency, what's going to happen is that either odds will always be on the side of the picks that I make because they will recognize that my picks are accurate, or the second thing will be the people who own betting companies will probably start approaching me and offering money, and if I refuse, I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think they're going to allow me to make their companies crumble. I'm still far from that. I'm still figuring out the formula, but I know I can. If I've gotten this far in a space of just over a year, imagine what I can do within the next 5 years. Um, Actually, let me respond to your comments. I don't know why I went on such a long response. Yeah, I was replying to Tweezy's comment of the strategy is like Krabby Patty formula. Only Slugfest knows the Kansas like yeah, for real. Tweezy, I thought Fluffy was always a favorite. No, I think my UFC 308 predictions are coming out tomorrow. I think that's why I always ask you guys to just check who's the favorite and who's the underdog whenever my predictions come out. I get my predictions come out 7 days before the actual card. So just for the sake of accuracy, you can always check when my predictions come out. When I posted my predictions, Fluffy was an underdog, and he's now a favorite. Elkins was a bigger underdog than he is right now, and I think he was at some point a favorite, and then he went back to being an underdog. So lately, it hasn't been happening like this, but lately I've noticed that a lot of the time when I pick someone, maybe it's a coincidence, because it's not always, but recently a lot of my predictions eventually become favorites. It's only like one or two picks that sometimes are underdogs. And before, I used to pick underdogs and it would remain that way. But lately, whenever I pick someone and they are actually underdogs, the lines somehow move. Maybe it's a coincidence. I'm not going to go as far as saying it was a joke. I said it at the beginning. I was like, maybe odds makers watch my channel, but it's a joke. Maybe it's a coincidence, man. But I'm just saying, just track my predictions and check who's the favorite when my predictions come out, and then go back to them, or rather, compare when you watch Upset's predictions because I check the latest odds. Then compare that with the odds that were there when my predictions came out. So a simple example: tomorrow, I don't know what time zone you are in. In South Africa, 4 o'clock, I release my predictions and my shorts. All my shorts come out at 4 o'clock South African time, 4 p.m. South African time. So at that moment, once the predictions come out, just note down who's the favorite and who's the underdog, and then compare that with next week when the fight is almost there. The fight card is almost there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Slugfest be whispering to crystal orbs and listening for the. Ken, the things you say. And now you're a lunatic. What do you mean? Slugfest be whispering to crystal orbs and listening to the correct picks. Where were those crystal orbs on UFC 306? Like, 306 kicked my ass, and then the next two fight cards, they also kicked my ass. My subscribers were like on fire, like they were getting like 11 out of 14. Like they were just dunking on me. I think it was two fight cards ago, and I was close to 50% at that point. But that's what I mean. Like my bad night is I'm close to 50%. When it's a horrible night for me, that's when like my predictions are almost at 50%. Correct accuracy. So I need to change that. On a bad night, I need to play around 70%. Um, but anyway, crystal orbs. Oh man, if you saw the amount of, I don't have a social life. I'm depriving myself of everything largely because I work and I do the channel. So because of that, I don't have a social life. You guys are my friends. I put in a lot of work on this channel, man. So yeah, hopefully what I see and what I'm planning and the strategies that I'm using in order to grow the channel um, work. Actually, they were working. I think my channel would be at 20,000 subscribers right now if I didn't mess it up at the beginning. In June, there was something I did in June that actually interfered with the pace because it seems like YouTube was picking up my channel, and then I added a couple of things, and then it it messed up the momentum. But it'll pick up again. I'm confident. Um, so yeah, hopefully it grows and grows significantly and very fast because I put in a lot of work. Like if you could see me every day, I wake up at like 2 a.m. sometimes just to edit the videos that you guys see. That's why even when a fight is changed, it's already on my channel. Like for example, Smotherman versus Jake Hadley. You can find it in the shorts. Like there's no fight that I miss. The community section is a lot of work because there's no automated way to actually make things easier to do that. This channel is a lot of work, man. So I put in a lot of work, and that's why I feel like my predictions are good. But between my predictions and my breakdowns, I feel like my breakdowns are probably significantly better than my predictions because every time I say something on my channel, or rather on these live streams, it almost always plays out in that particular way. Especially when it comes to my upsets predictions, they are very good, and it's not because of anything else except because I I study this thing too much, So yeah, that's why. Rubbing the genie labs. Ken's, you're crazy, man. Eric Musgrove. What country is this? It's South Africa, my dude. Maybe at some point, if you're new to the channel, I have awards, right? I'm going to make those awards incredibly big. This year's awards, I'm going to focus on productivity because last year's awards I was in a rush. They are not what I wanted them to be, even though I don't have anyone helping me, even though I don't have any team, even though like no, I'm doing all of this on my own. But I genuinely want to make awards that are better than what you see on TV. Obviously, the difference will be that there won't be performances, there won't be a couple of things. But as far as production value, I'm going to try and make sure that what you see this year looks similar to what you see on TV. So there are a couple of things that I'm actually working on. So back to your question, which country is this? As the awards grow, because I feel like they're going to grow. I was so happy. My last year's awards hit 1,000 views. I'm so happy. If you want to watch them, just go to the homepage of the channel. You'll see the awards. This year, I want to make sure that the production quality is flawless. That's my main focus. And as the awards grow, I'm going to incorporate South Africa and show people a different South Africa because South Africa is beautiful, man. The world shows you violence, the world shows you poverty. And obviously, there's poverty. I'm sure, like every single country has poverty, and I do accept that we are in a growing country. So maybe there will be parts of South Africa that are not that great, but in general, South Africa is very beautiful. Um, and I will incorporate that into the awards as they grow. You'll see more and more of South Africa through me, through the things that I'm going to be doing on the channel. But I can promise you, those awards are going to be big. I promise you. Even if it takes 10 years, even if it means I'm going to have to fund myself, because my goal is to get sponsors. But even if I don't get sponsors, I'm confident in my ability to fund them and to make them what I want them to become. I can't actually explain the plan, but just subscribe and watch what I do. You remember what I said? I said I want to be bigger than the UFC. That's not just a statement. You'll see what I'm going to do. Slugfest country. Oh shit, I'm South African, but I live in the UK. Damn. Okay, yeah, I think I saw these ones. I think I replied. Ken's, yeah, brother. Tweezy Rich, log of the millennium. Well, not Tweezy. Who are you referring to? Jonald Mendoza. What's your parlay? I think I replied to you. It's Kyla Phillips, Jin Matsumoto, and maybe Alice Reed. If Ken's isn't here to harass you while you are giving your UFC picks, who the fuck else? Nah, you're funny, dude, man. Make sure you join every live stream. I like having you. Like, you're hilarious, dude. Like, I mean, Sven is one of the people who harass me. But I think when he comes on, he harasses me at the beginning, and then he stops and he listens to me, and then once I'm done, he starts responding to what I was saying. So like he doesn't really harass me as much as he used to. He's very nice now. Sven was one of my main people who I knew is going to come onto the stream and harass me. Do you have an account on IG? I'm glad I read this again because I had forgotten. Today, I need to actually fix that. I think the thing that tires me out with IG is because I can't schedule on IG. And tomorrow, I'm not going to be home. With YouTube, I can schedule and leave, and I'm not going to release videos earlier on IG, or I'll just release them when I come back. It's fine. It's still a week away, so it's fine. I'll release them when I come back. But that's the disadvantage with Instagram. It's that you can't schedule. So even if I wanted to unless maybe it's changed, I haven't used it in a while. But yeah, check my name specifically, Kotazo Melody, or the channel's name, Once Upon a Slugfest, on Instagram. I think I'm going to start being a little bit more active, and it's because of you guys. You requested it, you're going to get it. I'm going to be a little bit more active on Instagram. I'll see how I do it. Maybe I'll start with predictions, but I want to be more frequent than just posting once a week. Um, Okay, I'll see what I do, but posting every single video is going to be too much work. So maybe I'll just stick to posting predictions and maybe the main event and co-main event and see how that plays out. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Um, I'm in for the Slugfest page, brother. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be active on the Once Upon a Slugfest page on Instagram. I promise. Um, Cameron's motherman is a log. You're crazy, Tweezy. Ken's, will get loads of views on there, I think. Okay, Ken's, make that IG reels money, bro. Jonald Mendoza, what's your TikTok, man? My TikTok is Once Upon a Slugfest. The only place where it's different is on Twitter. On Twitter, it's Once Upon a Fight because Slugfest wouldn't fit in the description. But I think if you search Once Upon a Slugfest, because the name is Once Upon a Slugfest, but the ad is Once Upon a Fight. But everywhere else, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, just that I'm not active. That's the problem. But I'm going to try and be active a little bit more on IG now because I didn't give it a shot, and it seems like a couple of people feel like I'll be successful there. So doesn't hurt to try. So everywhere I'm Once Upon a Slugfest everywhere, except on Twitter, which is yeah. But you can search Once Upon a Slugfest, and I think you'll find me. Instagram got quite a few good MMA pages though. I think you could do pretty well there. Okay. Yeah, you could. Tweezy agrees. Okay. Who the F is John Anik? We need the Slugfest. I appreciate that, man. This probably made my day. Um, I don't get paid yet from this channel. Um, I'm always deprived of sleep. So, hearing appreciation from you guys or hearing someone say, I won money, I got this, um, it's always nice to know that that's the payment, to hear people saying, I made money off your parlays, or I made money from your predictions, or you saved me from picking someone because of your breakdowns. That's my fuel. So hearing things like this, it makes my day. Slugfest for UFC commentary. I doubt the UFC would do that, but yeah, that would be awesome. I think I study so much fights. I think I would give a little bit more input. Um, Replace Mike Bisping with Slugfest. I like Michael Bisping though. I think there are other commentators that. Okay, let me not be mean. Let me just leave it there. Ken's DC always eating. At least Slugfest will listen. Twizy. I got Perez. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Or you just mean the ones you super confident on? Yeah, I was referring to fights that I'm super confident on. Twizy Rich Altamirano. Okay, I thought you meant in general. No, no, no. I mean fights that I feel pretty strongly about. Smotherman's a lock, bro. Stop. Twizy, you don't believe that. Well, and then you laugh. Jonald Edwards. I think Edwards should win, but I wouldn't call her a lock. I don't know, man. I think she should win. I'm not very confident, but I think Edwards should win. Kane. Kamala or Trump? Based on my religious beliefs, I'd say Trump, but okay, I'll leave it at Trump. Because of religious beliefs, I don't want to say things that just going to be unnecessarily controversial. So I'll just leave it at religious beliefs. I'd say Trump. Tweezy Rich, I know WMMA like the back of my hand. Well, if I lose that dog law. Oh, I mean Alice Adeline. Okay, okay. Yeah, the Johnson fight is close. Yeah, I agree. Name those guys. Tweezy. I don't want to. I don't. The thing is, I can't prove it. So what if it's a coincidence? Of which I doubt. I highly doubt. But I don't want to start things and I can't even prove it. That's my biggest problem. If I could prove it, I'd name them. But I can't prove it. So I'm not going to. I'm terribly late, guys. What did I miss? Um, Dude, where have you been? But you can always watch the stream after I've went live, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you missed everything. Um, Alphabet, Slugfest, oiled up. What's wrong with you, TZ? And Alphabet, yeah, ne? I think he should change his name to Alphabet, ne? I think, yeah. Plus, I call him the alphabet, the guy with many alphabets in his name. Alphabet. But alphabet is not a great name. But at least, I think it's a dope name. But probably it's taken. Alphabet is a popular, common name. Um, Slugfest oiled up. You missed it. You're crazy, or not Tweezy. Tweezy's lying to you. He needs to oil up again for. I forgot that this dude is like a menace. A menace. YouTube is going to remove his channels. The alphabet dude. This dude is a menace. Like he's joining Tweezy now. Who is the log of the card? Alice Gadul. Who is the log of the card? Alice Gattaline. Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Like this dude just where's Ken's? Ken's and this dude with many alphabets in his name. I think I think they would make a really dope team. Hilarious, very hilarious. Uh, Team Tam, I'm gonna steal that the golden tooth of you one day. Wow. Tweezy Rich, bro. Who knows? Tweezy Alice gonna hold her down with her cheeks. The things you guys say. I've been doing this for almost 2 hours. Wow. I'm about to break my own record. Let me see. I think I still have enough battery to respond to these comments. I'm going on 2 hours. Wow, that's impressive. And it doesn't feel like that, which is crazy. Um, I need to start doing live reactions. I think it would be fun to actually um, watch the fights with you guys, man. I need to find a way to do live reactions or watch alongs. I mean, um, I need to do watch alongs. I need to find a way. If it means buying a new phone, but why do I need a new phone? Maybe I need new lights or lights actually in general. I'll see what I do. I need to find a way to actually do watch alongs. Um, the alphabet dude, Alice Gatlin and Once Upon a Slugfest should have an oil up twerking battle. Why? Why, dude? Why? I thought you were going to say something else. Do I look like I twerk? Like, come on, why would you say that? My favorite dog, at least. Wow. Twizzy Rich, once upon a twerk. Uh, YouTube is going to block you guys. Wow. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Twizzy, what happened to you? Like, Ken's ruined you, and then you're joining the alphabet dude. Like, once upon a twerk fest. Why would you say that? Wow, the alphabet dude. Once upon 100% pig accuracy fest, we'll find the secret formula. Yeah, man, I'm sure I will, and I'm not just blowing hot air. I am going to actually work hard to try and get there. Tim Tam, Cab, if you are getting that good at it, then turn it into dollars. Don't be worrying about telling YouTube. Turn it into millions and prove it like they otherwise Cab. Tim Tam, I think you're new to the channel. Maybe I think shorts are easier to check. Go through my shorts and watch my predictions. Um, Before UFC 300, I wasn't doing that great. And the person who was there is this guy with many alphabets in his name. He was there before UFC 300, and he can attest to that. My predictions were not great. UFC 300, they got significantly better. Because UFC 300, UFC 301, UFC 302, UFC 302, I actually got one fight wrong. UFC 304, like even the fight nights in between, I was doing well. And then I started to fluctuate. And then I improved my prediction strategy about 2, 3 months ago, somewhere there. And then my predictions became a lot more accurate, right? And then I know you're saying Cab. If my predictions are that accurate, then why am I not making money for myself? Um, to be honest, it's because of religious reasons. Number one, no matter how successful I become, I'm never going to bet on fights, irrespective of how successful I become. But all I can advise you is, at the very least, go back to the beginning of my channel. Actually, go back to my first year of predictions and compare them to this year's predictions. You can clearly see the difference and the improvement. The improvement is significant. The consistency is significant. I wasn't consistent last year. And at the beginning of the year, I wasn't. I used to be good at predicting, and I think I still am, at predicting main event championship fights, right? Um, but as far as why don't I make money, like I have strong reasons, and I feel like I'm intelligent enough to make money in a variety of ways. And this is knowledge that I'm never going to use for myself, um, unless, like I said, if I have an app. That's why I said I eventually want to create an app. Um, what else did he say? And then worrying about telling YouTube. YouTube is another way to make money. Like if I have 100,000 or 1 million subscribers, I have a clothing brand. I can actually push that on my channel. I also am building a production company. I can push that on my channel. So I'm on YouTube because that's another way that I plan on making money. And I wasn't good at predicting fights when I started. So had I said, let me just keep quiet and do it myself, I wouldn't have gotten better, because the pressure to get better is because I'm posting them for public criticism. And there have been trolls who have criticized me and who have said, oh, your picks are trash and everything like that. And that's one of the reasons why I got better. So, by that logic, if I was confident last year and I was like, okay, I'm going to just, let's say I was someone who could bet on fights, right? Last year I would have bet and I would have probably lost a bit of money and I would have quit at that point because my predictions were horrible then. They're not as good as they are right now. So I improve because I put myself up for public scrutiny, and it got even worse when I started competing with the subscribers picks. And if I'm capping, it's fine, but my subscribers picks are extremely accurate. You can always follow them if you feel like maybe I'm lying. But the easiest ways to disprove me is to just go to my shorts and just look at my predictions over the past couple of months, right? Apart from this recent card, the past three cards, UFC 306 and the two fight nights after that were not that great. But the cards before that, all of them were profitable. About about five of the past cards before that were profitable. UFC 3, I repeated myself. UFC 300, I think I got two wrong. I picked Max Holloway. UFC 301, I think I got two or three wrong. UFC 302, I think I got one wrong. Like, go through my predictions. I'm not just making this up, and it's not like you can't verify this yourself. Go through the channel. Like, how do you think I get 12,000 subscribers? Like, it's not it's not because they like the sound of my voice. The betting companies will be in shambles. Yeah, I don't think they will allow me. Team Tam, bro, heaps of people can pick it. Bro, heaps of people can pick it. I'm good at it since way back. It's not hard. You will never be 100% though. You might have some cards you get all, but you will never consistently all cards. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think you're allowed to believe that. We'll see. I'm confident in what I'm saying. Um, Team Tam, I'm good enough to tell you the clear picks and to tell you which ones to leave. That's where it all stems of making money. To use your words, Tim Tam, I hope I'm not being rude because I'm using your own words, right? If that's true, then why are you watching prediction videos on YouTube? Like, you know, the same thing that you asked me, I'm asking you. If what you're saying is actually accurate, then why are you watching prediction videos on YouTube? You know how to make money. You could actually make money from betting, or you could make money from posting your predictions, and you could be extremely successful on YouTube. So I'm asking you the question that you asked me. If that's true, then you shouldn't be watching prediction videos on YouTube. Um, you should actually be making money either on bets or millions, actually. You should be a millionaire at this point because you know how to predict, and it's not that hard, according to you. Or you should actually start a channel and you'll be extremely successful, right? Because your picks are really good, according to you. So I'm asking you the question that you asked me. Tim Tam is a mistake. Tim Tam is a mistake. It's getting late, guys. We've been talking for 2 hours. You can't LOL. There are always gonna be fights that are too close. 50-50 you get wrong. We'll see, dude. We'll see. Yeah, the best channels get 70% on average. At least the ones I heard of and watch. The Alphabet Guy, Naturalize, NOS. Who you got, Max or Ilya? I will be analyzing the fights tomorrow, so I'll give you my picks then. Tim Tam, whatever a mystic is, I'm grown enough to tell you, you will never always have 100% LOL. That's Misty Buddy. If you believe that, oh well. You got me. I work for the bookies. Tim Tam. We'll see, man. And I didn't say I'll get 100% all the time. I want my average to be between 80% or higher. I don't think that's impossible. I think I'm pretty close to that. The alphabet guy, that would be pure luck and instantly insanity to consistently get 100%. Time traveler type predictions. Tip them. I've narrowed it down to taking clear, obvious picks, the easiest one on the card, and leave the rest. Trying to multi the whole card is too far. Boxing last week, I told you guys if you got 100K, take Jai. Actually, on the last card, I got boxing card. I got 6-1-1. Right. Obviously, there was a draw, and I got the main event wrong. Even though it was a robbery, um, I only got one wrong. In fact, my predictions for boxing, I normally get one fight wrong, or maximum two. Have I gotten two wrong? I haven't been predicting boxing that long. I think I've predicted like three or four cards, but my prediction accuracy for boxing is extremely high. So um, I actually think what you're saying about prediction accuracy is being disproven by the boxing. Because if I put in a lot more effort, because I don't watch boxing that much, I just watch for results. I don't watch the whole entire thing. I don't like boxing as much, but my predictions are extremely accurate. So if I watch the boxing as much as I watch the UFC, I think my predictions will be significantly more accurate. Um, oh, my battery is getting low, guys. We've been talking for 2 hours. I think I might have to bounce. Um, Jai being minus 1,600 favorite, 100K would get you 10K easy money. Hello from South Korea. How are you, man? Team Tem, if it happened, the corner threw in the towel. Okay, like West Side. Okay, Team Tem. That's how the rich would bet. A million on Jai. Easy 100K, easy peasy. Okay, Tweezy, South Korea. Team Tem, that's head to head for 100K, baby. Team Tem, I would like Ilya against Max head to head. Team Tem, that's not 100% the green zone for me, but I would side with Ilya. I think my picks will come out tomorrow. Tweezy, I'd put a million on Paul against Bo. Oh, guys, my battery is low. It's getting dark this side. Unfortunately, I wanted to reply to every single comment, but I don't think I will be able um, to do that. We'll talk. We'll talk Monday when I do my prediction results. If you want to reach me, I respond to my comments. So until then, I love and appreciate all of you. See you Monday or in the comment section, whichever one comes first. Till then, deuces. 2 hours. 2 hours is